Welcome to the first episode of Wordspiration. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are doing fine. And yeah, let's just get into it. So my first topic of this episode will be living in Christ. And the first subtopic or first episode I'm going to be talking about will be finding your identity in Christ. That's a topic, or that's a thing that many people struggle with. I see it, for example, with my sister. She is currently in that phase trying to find her identity, and she always asks me many questions regarding that topic and all that. And the thing I can tell her at the age that I am right now, with the experiences I've made and gone through and everything, is don't force it. If you don't know your identity for yourself, not to talk about your identity in Christ, then you also don't know what you're capable of. And with that, you also allow certain things or certain people get to you too easily. As for me personally, I struggled for a long time to find my identity. In this world that we live in, we very often strive in looking for our identity in things of the world. We don't look for our identity in the Bible. I really had to sit down and reflect. So I took the active decision of, okay, Stacey, you don't need to be like other people. Just be yourself. And yeah, you won't always fit in. Yeah, you're not the most girlish person. Blah, 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 blah. But there'll be people that will like you the way you are. You don't make your identity for yourself. God has already given you an identity. You don't make it. It has already been given to you. The mistake we do is we go and look for the validation of that in the world. The way the Lord created you, He has already given you all the things that make your identity. He has already given you all the things that make you you. He has already given you all the things, all the talents that you can use to work and for His name to be glorified. The only thing is, we are being born in this world, and then we distance ourselves from Him. Things happen, and those experiences, those things that happened, they have an effect on your character. They have an effect on you. And those things that the Lord has placed in you that were perfectly are they're going to be, they get a bit rotten, shall I say it that way? They get rotten because of the things we see, because of the things we experience. And because we don't put our focus on Him, but we put our focus on the things of the world. I will tell Him, yeah, you made me so straightforward, and you gave me temper, and then when I use it, people will start getting pissed. Nah, He didn't give me temper. Getting angry easily, that's not from God. He didn't give me temper. That is something that I obtained by the way I grew up and by my experiences. That has nothing to do with Him. Yes, He gave me boldness. That is what He gave me. That I can speak my mind when I feel the need to say it. That I am not going to be afraid of what people are going to think. That He gave me that boldness. That is from Him. But being hot-tempered, that is not from Him. That is something that I have learned along the way. You have your character. You have your good things. You have your identity already. But because of the things you experience in this world, they change your way of thinking. Because you're focused on what is happening, what is important in the world, instead of focusing on what is important to God, you adapt to certain patterns that don't glorify His name and that make your life hell. I've had people come up to me saying, I really admire your confidence, I admire your boldness, I could never be that straightforward and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's nice to hear that, but do you know the sacrifice that comes with that? The sacrifice that comes with that is that I won't always have friends. I don't have much friends. The sacrifice that comes with that is I'm going to be misunderstood. People are going to look at me and be like, okay, what's wrong with this one? The sacrifice that comes with that is I will be lonely sometimes because I don't have people that understand or accept the way I am. We always want the good things of other people. We want to preach, we want to be, seen, known, but we never want to pay the price for it. People always feel so entitled to tell you what you should do and how you should do it. oh, Stacey, you should be more feminine. Stacey, you should smile more. Stacey, this and that. It doesn't make a good impression and stuff. For that, I can only say, you don't get to tell me what to do. Let me say that way, because you're not the one that created me. If it's not coming from the Lord himself, I won't pay attention to it. If it's not written in this word, if you're coming to tell me something that you cannot support with the Bible, I'm not going to give it any ear. I'm not going to give it any time, because then you just want me to change myself for your own selfish wishes and your own selfish desires, because you want me to be that way. And that's not happening. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 3. Being manifested that you are a letter of Christ, cared for by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God, not on tablets of stone, but on tablets of human hearts. At times when I read the Bible, I think to myself, Jesus writes the best love letters to his children. Hands down. You read something and then it just touches your heart, because you're like, really? The letter of Christ, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God. Why do you feel like you need to get validation for your identity from people, from the world? It's not needed. It's not necessary. When your mind is stable, when your mind is at peace, when you are at peace, there's rarely anything that people around you can say to make you doubt your identity or to make you feel like you're not good enough. So that is one tip I would definitely give, is say it actively. Say it actively. It sounds stupid because you're there talking to yourself. It doesn't matter. Say it actively. Say, I am enough. And after you've done that, open your word and read it. Every single time I feel like I'm not enough, every single time when I'm doubting who I am, why am I even here, what am I doing here, I always open my Bible and trust. I always receive something from the Lord that just gives me the confirmation, like, you are my daughter. There's a reason why you are on this planet, and you are enough. You are worth it. Yes, you have your flaws. Yes, you have your struggles. But nonetheless, I love you regardless. And I am not going to give up on you. Your identity is not defined in the world. Your identity is defined in Christ. The moment you understand that, that is when seriously nothing can bother you. And it's always easier said than done. I get it. It took me some years to actually build up that mindset. It took me some years to not only say it like, yes, I am beautifully and wonderfully made and but actually not really believing it. It took me some years to actually actively box that into my head. Go in your word. The more you read your word, the more confident you become. My confidence comes from this book. My confidence comes from my Bible. Because this is the kind of confidence, the confidence you get from me is the kind of confidence that nobody can strip away. I don't know how to prophesy. Well, not now at least. I don't like receive visions and all those type of things. I don't even speak in tongues. You know. I'm actually still a baby for many people, for many Christians that are a bit higher in spirit. So then I have to sit down like, okay, God, then what can I do? What did you give me? You list down the things you're good at and you look at his word and what his word says. You put those two together and you get it. I am still in the process of there's a lot more to identity than what I'm just saying right now. I am still in the process of still learning and finding other aspects of my identity. I'm just telling you how far I have come so far. Yeah, so I asked him, what can I do? What is my thing? What I just got to know is I can't give it a name. I can't say it is prophecy. I can't say it is speaking in tongues. I can't say it is seeing things or dreaming things. I can't say give it a name. But I don't need to give it a name. There is no need for that. If God hasn't given it a name yet, then I don't need to give it a name. If God hasn't given it a name yet, then other people don't need to give it a name, and you don't have to accept the names they give. What am I good at? I like pushing people. I like motivating people. I like teaching, I could say, to a certain point. I like sharing what I have learned, which is the reason why I'm doing these videos. Just because what I know. There might be someone out there that doesn't know it. There might be someone out there that needs it. It's small. It's nothing special if you compare it to other people and their gifts. It's small, but it is something. Even if it's small, that small thing can still be used for God's name to be glorified. Your identity in Christ is different than the one in this world. You might be small in this world, but in the spirit, in front of God, you are big. People won't see it. Not everything is about the physical eye, and that's what many people don't understand. It's okay. The last verse I will have for today will be in Colossians 2. Colossians 2, verse 10 to 11. And it says, "And in him you have been made complete, and he is the head over all rule and authority. And in him you were also circumcised with a circumcision made without hands, in the removal of the body of the flesh by the circumcision of Christ." If my Father is the head of all rule and authority, I cannot be bothered about what people that are not the head and rule of authority think about me. That doesn't make sense. If they're not saying anything that can help you for your character growth, your spiritual growth, but they're just making comments, but with no help on how you can better yourself. Put it aside. They're not trying to help, they're just trying to air their unnecessary opinion. And we always have to be mindful of what we are allowed to enter our head and our hearts. Because once it enters there, it's like a seed that has been planted, and slowly it will start growing. Having your identity in Christ is the best thing ever. It is the best thing ever. Because you will never have to question it. But in the world, you question your identity 24/7 because it's never good enough. I just want to tell you, you're good enough. You're worthy. You're his child. He didn't make any mistake with you. Look for your identity in the Bible, not there. Shift your focus on him, not there. Those are the things you need to do actively. And everything else is going to happen on its own. Whatever your character may be, whether it's you're a curious person, you're a gentle person, you're a bit more strict, don't change it. This particular character was given to you by the Lord for a certain reason. And all you need to do is find a way to grow in that character he has given you and put away all those negative things that you have adapted to while growing up in this world. That is it. That's part of how you get there. This is not the only way to find your identity. Like I said, I am not a pastor. I am just speaking from my experience. But I hope this was helpful. I encourage us all to please, let's read our Bible more. Let's seek for his opinion first and more. Let's shift our focus away from these things and shift it on him. Let's spend more time with him. Let's spend more time in his presence. Because when we do these things, that is how we are going to understand the Bible more. That is how we're going to understand what he thinks of us more. That is how we're going to understand what he wants from us more. That is how we're going to understand which way to go. That is how we're going to understand life in general. I hope this was a bit helpful. Stay blessed and see you in the next episode. Bye.